the power of the woman who stops chasing. You know that feeling of always being available, always trying, always proving your worth, and still feel that nothing is enough? What if I told you that the secret to having what you want is precisely to stop chasing? It seems contradictory, right? But there is a truth that no one tells you. The more you chase, the more things run away from you. It's like trying to hold water with your hands open. The more force you exert, the more you slip through your fingers. In this video, you'll discover the devastating power that exists in a woman who chooses to quit, not by giving up, but by strategy. Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. You will understand why your absence is worth more than your insistent presence, and how this completely changes the game in your relationships, in your career, and especially in the way you see yourself. Get ready, because what you'll discover here could change your life forever. 1. What happens when you disappear? There is something powerful that activates at the exact moment you disappear from someone's life. It's not magic, it's pure psychology. When you are always there, always available, always texting first, your presence becomes a landscape. People get used to it. They know you're going to be there anyway, so they don't need to make an effort. They don't need to value you. They don't even have to think twice about treating you badly. Now imagine the opposite. Suddenly you don't send that good morning message anymore. It's no longer online all the time. It does not respond at the same speed. Don't call first. It doesn't start a conversation. He simply lives his life without orbiting around anyone. What do you think goes on in the other person's head? A restlessness begins, an emptiness, a question that does not want to be silenced. Where is she? Why did it change? Did I do something wrong? Is she okay? Did she meet someone else? This emptiness you leave when you disappear is much louder than any word you could say. It's that absence that screams. Suddenly, those who never paid attention to you start noticing you. Whoever left you in the void now responds quickly. Those who thought you were guaranteed start to feel afraid of really losing you. And do you know why? Because human beings only value what they can lose. As long as you are there, servile, available, chasing, you do not represent any loss. You are sure. And certainty does not arouse desire. When you disappear, you force people to miss you. And missing it is the first step to recognizing value. It is at this moment that they realize everything you did, all the attention you gave, all the effort you put in. But they perceive by their absence, not by their presence. It's sad, but it's real. No one values the light on all the time. Only when it goes off do we realize how clear it was before. And there's more. When you disappear, you're not just messing with other people's heads. You're messing with your own. You give yourself time to breathe, to think, to see things from afar. You realize that the world didn't end because you stopped running. You discover that you have a life of your own interests, your own worth. It discovers that it doesn't need validation from anyone to be complete. And when you discover that, it changes everything. You stop acting out of need and start acting by choice. And a woman who acts by choice is unstoppable. 2. Why chase drives away and stop attracts? The logic seems broken, but it is the truest there is. The more you go after it, the more the person moves away. And the more you stop, the closer it gets. This doesn't make sense in our rational mind, but it makes perfect sense in the human unconscious. Do you know why? Because chasing sends a clear message. I need you. And needing is the opposite of attracting. Necessity drives away. Desire attracts. When you persecute someone, you are saying without words, you are more important than me, you are worth more than me, I am not enough alone. The person feels it, even if she doesn't know how to explain it. She feels the imbalance. And no one is attracted to someone who puts himself down. We are attracted to those who are at the same level or above. For those who have their own life, their own purpose, their own value. For those who don't need it, but choose it. Every movement of persecution carries anxiety, lack, fear. And these energies are repellent. People instinctively feel and move away. It's like that bad smell that you don't see but feel in the air. You may be sending the most beautiful messages in the world, but if behind them there is despair, the other will feel it, and it will run. because no one wants to carry the emotional weight of another person. No one wants to be responsible for someone's happiness. This tires, this suffocates, this weighs you down. Now when you stop, something changes completely. You start to transmit another energy, an energy of wholeness, of those who are well with themselves, of those who have where to go and what to do. And that's magnetic. People wonder, how is she so well without me? What has changed? Who is this woman? And they start moving toward you, because now you've become a point of interest, not a pressure point. Stopping is not a game. It's posture. It's you recognizing your own value and refusing to beg for attention, time, love, respect. It's you saying with attitude, I'm here, but I'm not going to lower myself. If you want, come. If you don't want to, the door is open on both sides. And this attitude, this firmness, this clarity that you are not going to go after it, makes you shine. It makes you become that person everyone wants around, because you stopped being easy. And what is easy is never valued. If you're ready to stop chasing and start understanding yourself, the Jung Method will help you see what your soul was really asking for. The link is pinned in the comments. 3. The invisible value of its absence. Its absence has a price that you can't even imagine. While you are there, doing everything, solving everything, being the person who always shows up, always helps, is always available, no one can calculate how much you are worth. It's like living in a house your whole life. You no longer notice the furniture, the walls, the structure. Everything becomes normal. You only realize the real value of the house when you need to move out of it. The same happens with you. While you are present, you are invisible. It seems contradictory, but it is not. Your constant presence makes you become part of the routine, the scenery, the expected. People stop seeing you as someone special and start seeing you as something guaranteed, like that chair that is always there. Useful? Yes. Valued? No. But when you withdraw, when you stop showing up, when you disappear from the radar, then people wake up. It's as if an emergency light went on in their heads. Suddenly they realize everything you were doing and that no one else is doing. They realize the emptiness you have left. They realize that life has become more difficult, duller, emptier without you. And then, yes, only then, they start to calculate how much you were worth. Too late most of the time, but they start. There are people who only learn to value when they lose. It's sad, but it's true. And you can't spend your whole life trying to prove your worth to those who refuse to see. There comes a time when you simply need to leave the scene. Not with anger, not with drama, not making a scandal, but with dignity. With the certainty that those who do not value you present do not deserve your presence. Your absence also has another power. It protects you. When you stop always being there, you stop wearing yourself out, emptying yourself, giving what you don't have. You save your energy for those who really deserve it, for those who reciprocate, for those who see, and that changes everything. You stop living exhausted, frustrated, and start living light, whole, full of yourself. And a woman full of herself is a woman who doesn't need to run after anything. Things come to her. 4. How to recognize when you're running too much. There are clear signs that you have become that person who chases too much. The problem is that when you're in the middle of the situation, you don't see it. You think you're being nice, being affectionate, being present, but in fact you are being invasive, desperate, needy. And the line between one thing and another is very thin. So pay attention to the signs. First sign, you always text first. Always. If you stop to look at the conversations, you will see that you are always the one who initiates. Good morning is you. Good night is you. How was your day is you. The other person only answers. Sometimes he doesn't even answer properly. And you keep insisting, starting a conversation, trying to keep the conversation alive on its own. This is chasing, and it gets tired, and it doesn't work. Second sign, you keep checking if the person has viewed your message. You send it, look if you delivered, look if you saw it, count how long it takes you to respond. You get anxious when it takes too long. He creates theories in his head. Is he with someone else? Are you mad at me? You live according to the response of the other. This is a clear sign that you are running too much, because a person who is in control of their own life is not held hostage by anyone's online. Third sign, you try much harder than the other person. You plan dates, you suggest programs, you get ready, you go there, you make a point. And the person? He accepts it in a good way. Sometimes he even doesn't talk. Sometimes he cancels at the last minute. The effort is completely uneven. You give 80, you get 20. And he keeps giving, thinking that one day the person will reciprocate. It won't. Those who do not reciprocate from the beginning will not change. Fourth sign, you cancel yourself out to please. You change plans, you put your commitments aside, you make exceptions that you shouldn't make. Everything to be available when the person wants. You become that person who fits her life into the holes in the other's schedule. This is not love. It is not affection. It is not care. This is annulment. And annulment never ends well. Fifth sign, you feel a tightness in your chest, a constant anxiety. You are not at peace. You're always worried, always thinking, always trying to decipher what the person is feeling or thinking. You live on an emotional roller coaster. This happens because deep down, you know that you are trying too hard for those who don't care. Your body knows, your intuition knows, but you insist on ignoring it until it is no longer possible. 5. The energy that changes everything, from necessity to choice. There is a powerful transformation that happens when you change your inner energy, when you go from the position of the one who needs to the position of the one who chooses. It sounds subtle, but it's a gigantic change, and it changes absolutely everything in your life. Your relationships, your friendships, your work, even the way you walk down the street. Energy of need is the one you carry when you think you need someone to be happy, to be complete, to be worthwhile. It's that feeling of emptiness that only someone else can fill. It's that fear of being alone, of not being chosen, of not being loved. This energy makes you accept crumbs. It makes you tolerate disrespect. It makes you bow your head and swallow frog after frog. Because deep down, you think you don't deserve better, or that you won't find anything better. When you act out of necessity, you attract people who take advantage of it. People who smell their lack from afar and use it to their advantage. People who give you attention when they want, who disappear when they want, who come back when they want, because he knows you'll be there, waiting, because you need to. And those who need it do not have the strength to impose limits, to say no, to leave. Now the energy of choice is completely different. That's when you know you're all alone, that you don't need anyone to complete you because you are already complete. Do you want company? Want. But it doesn't have to. Do you like having people around? Like. But it does not depend on them to be happy. You choose to be with those who treat you well, with those who value you, with those who are at the same level of delivery as you. What if there is no one at that level? You are alone in a good way. Because loneliness is better than disrespect. When you act by choice, you attract different people. People who are also whole, who also have a life of their own, who also don't need, but choose. And then yes, the relationship flows. Because there is balance, there is respect, there is reciprocity. No one is saving anyone. No one is plugging anyone's emotional hole. It's just two whole people deciding to walk together. Shifting from necessity to choice is not easy. It requires inside work. It requires you to look at your wounds, at your needs, at your fears. It requires you to heal. It requires you to build a life you love, with or without company. But when you succeed, when you make this turnaround, you become unbeatable, because then no one else has power over you. You can no longer be manipulated, used, disrespected, because you just walk away, and he leaves in peace. 6. The fear of stopping and why it fools you. Stopping chasing is scary. It scares a lot, because deep down you are afraid of what might happen if you stop, and your brain starts to create 1,000 bad scenarios. What if the person disappears for good? What if she finds another one? What if I miss my chance? What if I regret it later? What if I'm alone forever? These fears are real, but they deceive you. The first mistake is to think that if you stop, you will lose the person. But think with me. If you can only keep someone close running after you, you don't have that person anymore. You have an illusion. You have someone who is there for convenience, for laziness to go out, for habit, but not by real choice. So what are you holding on to? Crumbs. And crumbs don't sustain anyone. The second mistake is to think that stopping means giving up. It doesn't. Stopping is not giving up on having someone in your life. It's giving up on being the only one fighting for it. It is giving up on humiliating yourself. It is giving up accepting anything. It's putting the ball in the other's court and seeing what happens. If the person comes, great. There is a game. If it doesn't, you already have your answer. And the answer, as painful as it may be, is better than being eternally in doubt. The third mistake is to believe that you will be alone forever. This is your neediness speaking. It is irrational fear that has no basis in reality. The truth is that when you stop chasing after those who don't want you, you make room for those who really do. You release energy. You make yourself emotionally available to someone who is good. But while you're clinging to those who don't value you, you block everything that could be good. The fourth mistake is believing that you need to do something all the time to keep the person's interest, that if you disappear, she will forget about you. Look, if someone forgets you because you disappeared for 2 days, that person wasn't really interested. Real interest does not erase with absence. Real interest gets stronger. The person becomes curious, becomes restless, goes after it. If it doesn't, it's because there was never anything there to begin with. The fear of stopping is normal, but you can't let him control you. You need to feel the fear and act anyway. Because on the other side of fear is your freedom. Your dignity lies. Your peace is. And that's worth much more than having someone around who doesn't value you. It is worth much more than living in the anxiety of having to prove your worth every day. You weren't born for this. You were born to be chosen, not to chase after you. 7. Signs that you have regained your power. You will know that you have regained your power when some things change within you. It is not overnight. It's a process. But there comes a time when you look back and realize, I'm not that person anymore. I changed, and it changed for the better, much better. First sign, you are no longer checking your cell phone all the time. You live your life. You work, study, go out with friends, do your thing, and the phone stays there, quiet. If it touches, you see. If you don't touch it, you don't even notice it. You are no longer anxious waiting for anyone's response. It is no longer creating theories about what the person is doing. It just doesn't matter anymore in that desperate way. And that is liberating. Second sign, you are fine alone. You no longer feel that despair of always being accompanied. You enjoy your own space. He watches his movie, reads his book, makes his food, lies in his bed and stays there quiet. You don't have to be talking to someone all the time to feel alive. You already feel alive, because you have discovered that you yourself are company enough. Third sign, you say no without guilt. Before you accepted everything. You accepted anything for fear of displeasing, of losing, of being left aside. Not now. Now, when you don't want to, you talk. When you can't, you talk. When you don't agree, you speak up. And you don't feel guilty about it, because you have understood that your time, your energy, your presence have value, and you're not going to throw it all away with just anyone. Fourth sign, you no longer pursue explanation. Before, when someone disappeared, they left you in the void, changed your behavior. You went after them wanting to know why. You demanded, questioned, tried to understand. Not now. Now you accept the person's behavior as a response. Has the person disappeared? Answer. Has the person cooled down? Answer. The person doesn't care? Answer. You don't need words anymore. Attitudes speak louder, and you learned to listen. Fifth sign. You attract different people. Suddenly you realize that the people around you have changed. More mature, more respectful, more reciprocal people. People who treat you well without you having to ask, without you having to fight, without you having to beg. And you understand that this is not luck. It is a consequence. Because you have changed your energy, you have changed your pattern, you have changed what you accept. And when you change inside, the world outside reorganizes itself. Sixth sign, you feel peace. That constant anxiety, that tightness in your chest, that feeling that you're always losing, always falling behind, disappears. You wake up calm. You sleep peacefully. You no longer live for anyone. You live for yourself. And this brings a peace that you didn't even remember it was possible to feel. 8. How to live without ever chasing again. Living without chasing after it is not a one-day decision. It is a daily choice. It's waking up every day and remembering your value. It's you committing to yourself before you commit to anyone else. It's building a life so good, so full, so yours, that you won't want to risk all this for someone who doesn't value you. First step, invest in yourself. Really, it is not a self-help phrase. It's practical. Take care of your body, your mind, your career, your dreams. Take that course you want. That project begins. Take care of your health. He tidies up his room, his house, his life. When you're investing in yourself, you don't have the time or energy to chase after anyone. What's more, you start to respect yourself in a way that you no longer accept disrespect from the outside. Second step, have a life of your own. Friends, hobbies, interests, routine. Things that are yours, that don't depend on anyone. When you have a life of your own, you don't put all your happiness on one person. You are not held hostage. You have where to go, what to do, who to talk to. And that gets you out of that position of emotional dependence that makes you chase it. Step 3. Observe behaviors, not words. People will promise you. They will tell you beautiful things. They will fool you with excuses. He doesn't believe in words. He believes in attitude. Does the person say they like you but disappear for days? He doesn't like it. Does the person say they want to see you but never have time? He doesn't want to. Does the person say you are important but treats you as an option? You are not. Stop making excuses for bad behavior. He sees reality as it is and acts accordingly. Step 4. Set clear boundaries. And it keeps them. It decides what you accept and what you don't accept. And when someone crosses those boundaries, you take action. You walk away. You cut. You finish. No drama, no fighting, no trying to convince the person to change. It only acts. Because limit without consequence is not a limit. It is a suggestion. And no one respects suggestions. Step 5. Learn to enjoy your own company. This is fundamental. Because if you don't like to be with yourself, you'll always look for someone to fill that void. And then you accept anyone. But when you like yourself, when you have fun alone, when you suffice yourself, you become selective. You only accept in your life those who are worth it. 6th step. Understand that you can't control anyone. You can't make anyone love you, choose you, value you. That is not up to you. It depends on the other person. So stop trying. Stop thinking that if you do more, give more, go more, the person will change. It won't. Each one is responsible for themselves. You are only responsible for yourself. And when you really understand this, you stop chasing. Because you understand that it's no use. To live without chasing is to live free. It is to live lightly. It's living knowing that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You are who you are. It's worth what it's worth. And those who don't see, the problem of those who can't see, you go on with your life, quiet, focused, whole, and let whoever has to stay, stay, and whoever has to go, go, without despair, no drama, only with dignity.